Talking Memphis Wrestling with Randy Hill and special guests.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Randy Hills. Hope everybody had a fantastic Labor Day weekend. And now we can tell you it is September the 1st, 2025. Most places around me back in school already had time to have a little vacation since school has started. Everything back to normal, back to the books. And I want to say hi to James Davis. What's going on? Drew is in the house. Bo James is in the house. Bo, you're going to send me an email, a picture. I hadn't got it yet. PJ is in the house from Thailand, and Ben, my friend, is here as well. How was everybody's? And this actually is September the 2nd, apparently. Yes, September the 1st was yesterday. September the 2nd is what it is right now. Hey, a big show today. Videos. 1, 2, 3 videos today. The first video, continuing our feature on scaffold matches in Memphis. This one was 1987, Mid-South Coliseum, 6,200 people. This one was Jerry the King Lawler, Bill Superstar Dundee against the Universal Heartthrob Austin Idol, his tag team partner Tommy Wildfire Rich, their manager Paul Dangerously, now known to the world as Paul Heyman. We will see that. Also today on this program, we will see a video that's very rare from the 70s era of Memphis wrestling. Some of it, the early 70s. We'll show that to you. And as we end the show today, we'll go back to 98 and 99 Power Pro Wrestling. And we have some great video things that Adam put together several years ago that's absolutely fantastic. So if you're not educated to Power Pro Wrestling, I think you will enjoy. Dennis is in the house. And so many people kicking off this Talking Memphis Wrestling. We will start now with the first person in the chat room, in the backstage area with his first take. I don't know if he's in New Orleans. I don't know if he's in Orange Beach, or I don't know if he's in Iowa. You never know where the hell this guy is. Ladies and gentlemen, the most educated person on this panel. He is a huge Memphis wrestling guy. New Orleans was his home for many, many years, and he deserted them like a plague and went off to the beach. He's our friend. He is William, a.k.a. Rusty, a.k.a. Doctor. First, take time from William freaking Robinson. Hey, Doc, how you
Hey,
doing?
Randy. Thanks for that intro again. We're still in New Orleans. We're still basking in the glory of Tulane's big win this weekend. They played Northwestern in Ullman Stadium, which is Tulane's home stadium, and won 23-3. So we were really excited about that. So we decided to say an extra day or two just to kind of soak it all in. But I'm looking forward to the show today. Those videos mentioned, particularly from the 70s. That's kind of my era. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
That's great. It will be a fantastic show today. PJ in the house. Ben says, did you know Paul had the mind for the business he does now, or was that something that developed? It developed. This was his first territory. I don't think he was half-ass smart to the business at the time he was here. I really don't, for sure. Um,
But I think you could tell there was something there. I mean, he was so witty even way back then. So I wasn't there I wasn't in Memphis at the time, but I've gone back and looked at many of his clips from then, and you could tell there's something special about that guy. He didn't wasn't what he would become later on, but there was something there.
All right. One thing I want to do before we bring our next panel member in here, it's a big weekend for football. Rusty talked about Tulane. I don't really know where Tulane is and don't know much about the Tulane schedule, the Tulane team, nothing about them. I'm assuming it's in the New Orleans area. Anyway, Arkansas has a huge game for the first time ever, and I have a graphic of this and add them right there to it. For the first time in the history of first times, this Saturday, it won't be in Fayetteville, it won't be in Jonesboro, it'll be in War Memorial Stadium in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas. My team, where I graduated from in 1984, the Arkansas State Red Wolves, back when I was in school, it was the Arkansas State Indians. They will be going against the Arkansas Razorbacks, which is a bigger school than Arkansas State, but it's the two major universities in this town. And now the next person we're going to bring in, probably in a little bit of a coma, maybe a little comatose. He might be, but he is the brains in this outfit. He's the guy that is our financial advisor, because this show don't have any money. I don't know how much he can advise on that, but he keeps me out of trouble all the time. He certainly does that. He is the husband of Suzanne. He's the son and the son of Mama Trammell and the son of Daddy Trammell. He is the father of Wyatt and the father of Meg, the husband of Suzanne. He is the original freaking member, the original freaking co-host of this here exciting show, and we are going to bring him in here right now. That's going to make this show very exciting. It'll blow your mind to be able to hear from the great, I was going to say the late great, but he's right here amongst the living, and I'm thrilled to death to know that. And here to join the show right now is Pat Trammell.
Wow, what an introduction! Thank you, thank you very much. Good to see you, Doc. It's a we don't want to talk a lot of football this week. We'll wait till the next week. Hello to everybody. PJ, uh, James Davis, glad you're out of the hospital. Hope you're on the mend. Ben, that's a great question about Paul. I tell you what, he could not have dreamed of a better place to start than where he did. And I'm curious as to what got him to Memphis, Randy, if you know, uh, in our conversations going on. But I'm excited today. I have enjoyed very much the scaffold match series. I'm particularly excited to see 4 guys on a scaffold. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Of course, the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express did it for Bill Watts, did it for also they did it for Jim Crockett Promotions, and I think they probably did it before the match that we're going to see, because the match we're going to see is in 1987, and I would think the scaffold match with the Road Warriors and the Midnight Express was probably in '86. I am not positive about that. PJ says hi to Pat. Pat's
Hello,
everybody's
PJ.
favorite around here.
What do you want? You're being awfully nice today to me. I think he's about to turn me off.
You ask, and through the power of Adam, as soon as I snap my fingers, Pat'll go away. And see, you don't have this power. He comes back when I snap my fingers again.
All right.
And there he is.
All
See
right.
the power I have?
I know the power of the power of the pen, the power of the camera.
Hey, I'm excited about this show, and we'll go to the first scaffold match pretty quick, but we want to put up the graphic of the Mid-South Coliseum where I can tell you what happened on June the 15th, 1987 at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. This was the idea as Jerry Jarrett was on vacation in Florida for several weeks, and I was booking for this period of time, and Jeff Jarrett was helping me, but Randy West, the Night of the Skywalkers, had this idea, pitched it to me. It was my job to sell it to Dundee, which was easy, Lawler, which was harder, Tommy Rich, kind of hard, Austin Idol, it cost me a lot of money, or cost the company a lot of money. And so have to give credit to Randy West for this. And the card is not loaded. It's really not loaded. This is 1987. The opening match was the Singing Cowboy Don Bass against Bucky Sigler. Second match was Alan West against Jack Hart. Later became in the WWF Barry Horowitz. Then came Big Bubba, Mark Starr, and Billy Travis against Pat Tanaka, Paul Diamond, and Downtown Bruno. A grudge match between Double J Jeff Jarrett, before he was Double J, against Moondog Spot. And the main event was a scaffold match, Jerry Lawler, Bill Dundee against Tommy Rich and Austin Idol. It's a 9-minute, 28-second video, but I would like to say that it doesn't start with the match. The setup, as far as the promotion is concerned, just a real cool thing. And Joe Mobley, back from his vacation, I think the Coliseum, maybe early to mid 60s, and wrestling
Late 60s.
late
Yeah.
60s,
Yeah.
and the wrestling debuted in 1971. We'll go to the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee right now to watch that scaffold match and the setup to the scaffold match, as we're here on Talking Memphis Wrestling, and we'll watch that classic match from '87 right now.
Today at the scene of where we have a test scaffolding up here for the big scaffold match coming up. Boy, this Skywalker match is going to be something. The King and the Superstar. Billy, that is a long way up.
You got that, and it's a long way down, Lance. Now, Austin Idol really thought he pulled something when he had Tommy Rich hiding under the ring or whatever what he done in Memphis, Tennessee, and cut the Kings here. Well, Idol, you can't hide nobody nowhere, brother, because you can see this thing's 25 feet up in the air, and you can't hide nowhere. You got to start on the ground, and you can see who climbs climbs up and you can see who falls off. And the superstars had a scaffold match before, so I'm going to tell you all up front, I'm not scared of heights. I hope you two punks are, but I ain't. And Jerry and the King Lawler and the superstar is going to climb up here, and Mr. Russell's coming with us.
No, wrong.
Come on up,
I got business down here on the floor.
You know, you said one thing right. It is a bad day for us here today, but I can assure you Monday is going to be the bad day for Austin Idol and Tommy Rich. Now, Bill says he's not afraid of heights, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you and everybody out there. I'm not really crazy about going up on this thing, but if it's a chance to get rid of Austin Idol and Tommy Rich once and for all, then it's a chance worth taking. Now, we've had all sorts of matches with these two jerks. We've had chain matches, Texas death matches, every kind of match you can think of. But this, Lance, is the ultimate. When you go up over 20 feet in the air on one of these scaffolds and have a chance on knocking somebody off down onto the floor, well, you know what can happen. And as a matter of fact, we're going to show everybody what can happen here in just a few minutes, okay?
Oh, boy.
We're going up. You're coming. Come on, King. You're going to come with us, Lance?
I think I'll stand out
Hello,
here and
Alzheimer.
get a hold of the camera and all. I'm going
Can
to
you
bring
talk to our good friend Steve for a minute?
Harrison in here. Steve owns the Tennessee Scaffolding Company, and by golly, you have erected quite a structure. I know this isn't the highest one that you ever built, Steve.
No, this is not the highest, but I can guarantee you it's 2 floors up, and looking down, it's impressive.
You told me that it was 2
Looking
stories
Rusty
up in
and
the air.
Pat at
When you stand
information,
here and
Mid-South
look up,
Coliseum,
it doesn't give
broke
you, it looks
ground
high enough.
April
It
the
looks plenty
15th,
high, but I can imagine up
1963.
there on the
It
top
first
of that
opened
Yeah, we
in
like to say, 2
1964,
floors, you know, that's only 20 feet,
October
but
of
people have to understand
1964.
when you get up on top of 2 floors, you know, you can get killed.
Older than I thought it
Easily.
was.
And with the double runners that are going to be on this thing, it's not going to leave much ring room to be falling. I am glad that we're here, and they're the ones. There they are. They've gotten to the top now. The Superstar and the King standing up here surveying all that's around and looking forward to getting Austin Idol and Tommy Rich up on top of that
First big
scaffolding
concert,
along
November
with them.
17,
And then comes
1965. The
job.
Rolling
Who
Stones
is going to
played
be able
at
to
the Mid-South
throw
Coliseum.
whom off the top of it? That's exactly what the Skywalker is going to be like. Right out in the middle.
We're going to be out in the middle. We're going to give Austin Idol and Tommy Rich a little sample of what it's going to be like if you fall off of this.
The King is saying that we're going to give Austin Idol and Tommy Rich what it's like if you fall off of this thing. And the King has got himself a watermelon there. The Superstar heading out toward the middle. Yeah, easy for you to say up there. I don't believe this. Steve, I cannot imagine anything that could be more dangerous, and I have seen a lot of Here it comes. All right, ready? Here we go. Dundee with a watermelon. It hits. Oh, good night.
Now let's come out of that and pause it for just a minute. Adam, if we could, to get conversations about that, and we'll go directly to Pat Trammell. How did you like that setup, and have you ever seen that interview before?
I've not seen that interview, but I'm sitting here in the broadcast room, and he says 2 floors, but I'm looking up. The ceiling is 8 feet high, so it's 3 ceilings, 3
Right.
rooms high. That's a long way down.
I wouldn't want to be standing up there dropping watermelons, would you, Pat?
No, I wouldn't. And I have a question for you. I know that Bill Dundee had a background in the circus.
Yes.
Did he do anything aerially in the circus?
I always thought he was an elephant trainer.
Okay.
That make you tough.
That would
I
make
guess.
it tough. Yeah.
Sure. What did you think about that video, William?
You know, I had not seen that video before. That came on after I left town in 1985. So this was a first for me. They did it very well, though. They set that up so well that, you were legitimately scared as to what was going to happen there. The only thing I wanted to comment on, I love those old pictures of the Mid-South Coliseum. It reminds me of how many times I went there for various things. I wasn't there for the Rolling Stones in '65, but I was there for a lot of other bands, including the Rolling Stones in 1975, which played in the Liberty Bowl Stadium, which is kind of across the street from the Coliseum. So I love seeing the old Coliseum pictures.
I do too. And we will go right now to the scaffold match in Memphis. And remember the date, June the 15th of 1987, 6,000 people strong, as we watch now on Talking Memphis Wrestling.
Heartthrob going to the inside to make his ascent. And Wildfire Tommy Rich goes to the outside. Boy, let me tell you, that is a long way in the air. The superstar. Takes a peek over the edge. Lawler on the platform. Idol on the platform. It's a little late. Paul Dangerly hollering, be careful. Lawler and Dundee rush across the center.
Lawler was pretty quick there, Pat.
He was pretty quick.
Idol. Dundee. Square off. Dundee, who has such an advantage, having worked high rigging in a circus and high steel, has no fear whatsoever. The King waiting in the middle for Wildfire, Tommy Rich, who definitely is not in his element. He's down on his hands and knees. Going too far, he'll be over here in our lap.
This, of course, is edited video, not the entire match, Pat.
Rich, their shells, to where they'll have a chance to pitch him off. That is
So
the
it looks
only
like there
way
are
it
two
can
separated
end. One member. Whoa.
platforms or
Lawler
scaffolds across the connecting the two
nailed Tommy
platforms.
Rich.
Right, it is 2 steps.
Boy, you have got to have nerves of steel to work up there like that, knowing
Look at Tommy crawling
that
out there.
some 235-pounder could bust you right in the chops and send you on your way down. Look at Lawler backing Rich up.
Pause that a minute.
This is one
6,000 people at the Mid-South Coliseum. 6,000 people at the Mid-South Coliseum, and you know all the high spots and all the crazy moves, all the craziness that happens 100 miles an hour. Pat, did you hear the reaction when Lawler got on his knees and crawled across that scaffold? That was louder than 99% of reactions from wrestling matches right now. Do you agree, or am I overreacting there?
No, that was a pop right there for sure.
Oh, in Memphis, anything Lawler did got a pop.
Yeah.
Thomas, Jerry Jarrett wasn't there that night. He tried to hold up me. Just talking bail. What am I going to get paid? Blah, blah, blah. And, it wasn't really a hold up, and he didn't at all refuse to go to the ring. I'm surprised he didn't.
Idol's going for his tight.
Yeah.
And Lawler comes around behind. Slamming Idol's head, it looked like. Dundee takes Rich out to the center. Bounces his head off that. First time Rich has been in the middle.
Tommy won't get up off his knees.
No.
The dual Skywalker match. Lawler prostrate up there on the...
That's a impressive visual, guys.
It is.
Coming after Dundee, and that's what Billy wanted. Lawler's leg hanging down in between the two platforms. And Dundee comes after Idol to help his partner out.
Dundee is fearless.
Oh, he's just waltzing back and forth.
As Rich goes flying across on his hands and knees. Now in the head, Tommy hanging from the scaffolding. I think Tommy had all of it he wanted and was trying to climb out of there. And Dundee caught him. And there goes Rich.
And that wasn't very impressive, that bump.
Now,
Rich is down.
you could tell Tommy was scared. He had climbed halfway down the ladder before he took the bump.
I think that's the bell. That's it. The winners will be Lawler and Dundee. Billy knocked down by Idle. It's all over officially. It was at 11:15 when Tommy Rich was disposed of down to the ring. Here comes Lawler. Lawler slams the injured wrist of Rich onto the turnbuckle and now tags Idle.
Thomas E. Shelley.
Rolling and agonizing on the floor. Dundee with no sympathy.
Boy, they're loud.
Yes.
They're getting ready to post Dangerly.
Ow.
All right, there you go. And Pat, we'll start with you. Rank the 3 scaffold matches in the ones you've enjoyed the most.
I think, as far as just excitement, I think I liked the first one most, maybe because it was the first one I've seen in a long time. And, they were so good on there.
How about you, Rusty?
I would agree with that, but I would say the second one actually had more action in it than the first one did. It was like they were kind of got their the feel for it by the second one. Plus, they had Dundee in the second one, and he was so good. He was just the king of the scaffold matches. So I would say I was more excited by the first one, but the second one had more actual, spots in it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, Pat. I'm having to send an email, so just give some more thoughts about the scaffold match and more specific this this one.
Well, I didn't really expect them to get after Paulie, so that was good there at the
That was
end.
fun.
I tell you, the crowd when Rich went down and they got a hold of dangerously, I guess he was then, or dangerly. It was a huge pop. You could see everybody jump up in the air. So
Yeah, it was so loud, but it wasn't even a full house.
yeah,
There's like
yeah,
6,000 odd people there,
yeah.
and the Coliseum would hold over 11,000.
The Rich under the ring is one of my favorite angles of all time in Memphis wrestling. I just love that.
Yeah, that was another good one. Was that
Yeah.
where Rich and Idol first got together, I guess, then, or you first knew that they were a team somehow?
Yeah, they got together in 86 or 87 for sure. Very interesting stuff. It looks like Michael St. John will try to join us. I sent the email just like I did to Rusty and Chris and Pat and to Michael. Do you think I do it too far ahead, Pat?
No. I mean, I couldn't. I had to look for it a minute, but no, that's fine. I think you sent it Sunday night maybe, so I had to scroll through to find it.
I think that's the day I did to the thing, so we're
that's
just
fine.
looking.
Yeah, that's
Michael be
fine
on-
with me also.
Yeah,
I'll
Michael
just
will be on
star
here
it
in a minute. Yeah.
so I can
Do-
find it then, a couple days later.
Right, because I just try to work on it a little early for sure.
Now that said, on this computer, the only thing I get really is your emails and some junk emails. So this is the broadcast computer. When we build the building of the Memphis Wrestling Hall of Fame, I feel sure this will be sitting there in an honored position.
Just talking Memphis Wrestling, we'll take about 20 seconds to reset the show a little earlier than we normally do, but giving Michael a chance to join the show, and we'll reset by saying we'll be back in a few seconds. We'll talk Memphis.
You'll see America's favorite sport on WHBQ television.
It's America's favorite sport. This is segment 2 of Talking Memphis Wrestling today. We have Pat Trammell, Birmingham, Alabama. We got Dr. William Rusty Blues Dr. Robinson, and he is in either New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Sometimes he's in that beach place you had. What's
Orange
it called?
Beach.
Orange Beach. I always want to call it something else. So South Beach or some kind of thing for sure.
We get the idea.
Pat, did you notice William? Pat, he's such an Alabama fan. I tried to bring up the Alabama football, and he just wasn't talking about it. What's wrong, Pat? You just so ashamed of your boys?
I'm not ashamed. Oh, look, I've seen this movie before. I've seen this movie before. When Coach Bryant died, I sat on the curb and cried, and then we went through about 10 years of misery, and so I've seen all this before. I'm having to counsel my children though.
How long do you think this guy lasts? Will they give him a few years?
Well, unless the wheels fall off, I think so. And look, I think he was a good hire. I mean, the guy was in the national championship game 2 years ago, and you're following a legend in a time when the sport has changed more than it has ever changed since freshmen became eligible. And that seems like a kind of a cliche now, but I'm thankful for everything Nick Saban did, but I'm not sure anybody stepping in that situation is not going to have some struggles. So
it's time for pictures of the week on Talking Memphis Wrestling. We'll start with 44.95. Picture 44.95, and we'll just put that up there as teasing it because we will take it off now because this is what happens. This is a fluid live program, and we're at the mercy of people coming in, coming out, that sort of thing, and I've already been rearranging this son of a gun. Hey, he is from Arab, Alabama. That's near Huntsville, Alabama. He had a hell of a radio career all over Alabama. He took over Memphis, took over Nashville, took over Phoenix, took over Los Angeles, took over St. Louis, spots all between small, large, gigantic, the biggest radio markets in the country. The grassroots, easy for me to say, the grassroots station. He's done it all. And at 33 minutes into Talking Memphis Wrestling, ladies and gentlemen, his first take, Michael Sant freaking John.
I'm glad you guys could get along without me. I mean, I've been gone for 2 weeks.
It's just hard when you don't know what you got. I do a format here, Michael.
Oh, I love you guys. Thanks for allowing me to be here and butt in on a fabulous show. Hi, Pat. How are you doing? Good
Hey,
talking to you earlier. Doc, how about that green wave?
Oh man, we got a big win this week. We're looking good.
Well, I'm not going to say I told you so, but all over the radio last week and on our Coaches Breakfast Friday, we do a thing called Pick 'em. And one of our high school coaches joins us, and we go around the table. There's 5 of us, and we make our picks. Last week, a week ago Friday, I was 5-0. This week, I was 4-1, and the game I missed was not Alabama, Florida State. I picked Florida State to win. I called it the choke and doke, which it was.
oh,
I called it on Friday. I missed UCLA, Utah. Of all the games to miss, I put my faith in that kid that took all that millions of dollars and left Tennessee and went to UCLA, fight. And he shit the bed. And it cost me my first loss of the year. So anyway, other than that, that's my first take. Glad to be back. Thank you so much for allowing me to be back, because I had 2 weeks of what we call football hell around here. It's it is 67.9% of our income last year, according to our tax man, came from sports, football, and high school basketball. So we're squirrels. We have to make ready for the winter, get our nuts together, and stash them so when we need them. So that's what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks. But thank you guys for allowing me. I know you guys have had an interesting couple of weeks around here. Has it not been an interesting couple of weeks in the wrestling business, Randy?
Has it? I mean, I thought the pay-per-view this past week was fair at best.
You didn't like it?
I don't say I thought it was fair at best. I didn't hate it.
You didn't hate it?
I did not hate it. I loved the Logan Paul John Cena match. I thought that was absolutely the match of the weekend. It was just fantastic. What did you think?
I thought that was good too. I agree with you. I think that was the highlight of the show without a doubt. But the thing I like, and I know I'm going to get pushback on this, but I love the fact that Becky Lynch, the man, is now acting like a man. And I don't think this has ever been done in professional wrestling. Certainly it hasn't been done in the WWE. But to see her come forward, interfere in her husband's match, and then do the promo she cut last night on Monday Night Raw. I think her promos have been really off the charts for the past few weeks. I absolutely loved it when she told Nikki Bella that, oh, you can't see, and she said, oh, you can't see him anymore. And that, to me, that was blurring the lines of fiction and fantasy and reality. And I have this thing about Becky. I don't think she's the prettiest. I think she can go as far as a wrestler, but I think she's got a mouth on her that cuts the best woman wrestling promo perhaps in the last 20 years.
All right.
I wouldn't disagree with that too much. Becky's dynamite. You know, they really missed her without question in the women's division over there. So I'm glad she's back also.
All right. 44.95.
Oh, you know what? Before you move on, Randy, when did Paul dangerously come to Memphis? When did he first get there? 87. Okay.
He wasn't there long before he fired his ass.
Yeah.
He didn't have a car.
Then, so I didn't see it.
He didn't have a car. He took a cab everywhere he went, and I had to take him one day from Jerry Jarrett's house where promos had been cut for all the cities. I had to take him back to the Super 8, I think it was, or was it Motel 6 right there in Hendersonville? That's where he was staying.
I mean, did he just show up and say, I want to be in the wrestling business?
No, I think Eddie Gilbert met him somewhere, and he recommended him to Waller or Jarrett or somebody, and that's how it happened. Rusty Lee Wilson says, if you were to bring back older wrestlers, who would they be now? Are you saying bring back from the dead or bring back somebody that can actually wrestle now? Clarify that a little bit. And if you would go Adam to 44.95. That ad we had up there. This is pretty interesting. This was put in a national paper, and Michael St. John, if you could share this by reading this ad in classified ads in the national paper, please.
Wrestler professional, basic amateur wrestling background, ability to wrestle, physically excellent, experience 40-hour, $400 a week plus percentage of gait. Send pictures and resumes to Jarrett Welch Wrestling Company, 110 Saunders Ferry Road, Hendersonville, Tennessee, 37075, or call 824-4490. That's pretty close to my old phone number in Hendersonville.
And you know, Jerry Jarrett lived at one time at 110 The Landings. Jerry Lawler lived on Saunders Ferry Road, but I don't remember the actual number address. Do you?
That's pretty close to it, Randy, because we looked at buying Jerry's house when he, what year was that? 83, 84 maybe, when he moved to Memphis and moved out of Nashville. He was over on Saunders Ferry, and I think 110's about knowing the streets over there, and because I know our veterinarian was 68 Saunders Ferry Road, and Jerry was a little bit beyond that, further out the creek.
Bo James says, Michael, I'll be in Manchester, Tennessee at the fair. It'd be great if you can make it.
I'm leaving here, Bo, at 10:30 tomorrow morning. I have to go to Ardmore to interview a coach. I have a meeting in Fayetteville for lunch, and I will be at the Manchester County Fair. My partner in a Tennessee station, Steve Sudbury's son, is an attorney in Manchester, and I'm going to meet him, and I think his son Josh is going to come with me to the wrestling show, but I'm looking forward. And by the way, Bo, if you need me to do anything, I'll be dressed and my mouth will be working, so let me know. God, that didn't come out right. Sorry about
that. Another ad. Let's get away from that subject real quick. And Michael trying to turn this into an X-rated version of Talking Memphis Wrestling. In other words, we need to move along. 44.97, and Pat's going to read this ad that Buddy Fuller put out. Can you read it? It's smaller lettering, Pat.
Can you qualify to be a pro wrestler? Train under the direction of one of America's greatest pro wrestlers, Buddy Fuller. The 90-day training program concentrates on bodybuilding, conditioning, and all-around development. You must have an athletic background, high school education, good character between the ages of 18 and 25, with full time to devote to the rigorous training program. For information, call. No cost to those who qualify. Buddy Fuller's Pro Wrestling Camp, Bolivar, Tennessee.
Now Danny Davis, Coco Ware, there's several people that went to that school.
Okay. That's interesting that it was free if he qualified. In other words, they weren't trying to make money off the school.
And what year was that, Randy?
78.
Okay. Now, was that when Buddy and Jerry were in business a little bit for a while?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
So just those two ads we took a look at, just don't want to spend a lot of time on it. We'll start you, Rusty, then go to Pat, and then go to Michael. Those two ads, kind of unusual. Hadn't ever seen that before, hadn't seen it after. Your thoughts there?
You know, I think there was an ad in the Commercial Appeal in Memphis also at some point. I don't know if it came out with these other two, but I'd swear I remember that, an ad like that, at least in the Memphis newspaper. And I always thought they were fascinating because, at that point, I didn't really know how wrestling worked. So I was kind of stunned. I was kind of taken aback, I guess. For some reason, I thought, becoming a wrestler was like you drop down out of the sky from heaven or something, I guess.
Pat,
so
your thoughts
are fascinating.
Your thoughts, Pat, on those two ads?
Well, I'm a little bit like Rusty. I'm a little surprised because I guess my assumption was, and I've heard you talk over the years, of guys just showing up and wanting to get in the business. And I didn't know there was ever period where there was a lot of recruiting going on. But you said Coco and who came through there?
Danny Davis.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's two guys that are, Hall of Famers for sure.
James Davis is when The Rock started his Flex Cavano was then he started in the business. That was his first territory, but he had obviously been trained by his dad and trained and under the WWF umbrella, but his first actual in-ring in front of people was in Memphis for the USWA Wrestling. Michael, your input on those two ads.
Well, I think that was much. I think, first of all, that first ad that I read was in the Nashville Tennessean, ran on a Sunday, because I had been shown that before, just seeing it now. But I think that was a period of time where there wasn't a lot of new talent coming through the pipelines. I think that 1978 was not a banner year for wrestling that I'm aware of, and of course the very next year Jerry Jarrett buys out or Nick Goulas and has the whole territory that originally came with it, except spinning off Birmingham. So it doesn't surprise me to see that kind of. But I'll agree with Doc. I'm surprised they didn't charge people to train them, because from the looks of that ad, it's like if you make it, you don't have to pay us.
I guarantee you, they didn't do nothing for free. I guarantee you. That's false advertising before there was a false advertising. They invented false advertising. Right now, we're going to do something that we've never done on this show, and nobody but me, because I just decided to do it right now. And it's going to be, I'm going to put Dr. Robinson on the spot, because we are going to have a doctor's visit right here, live, never been done over the streaming, because I just looked down at myself. I'm going to get up, and I can't see the monitor. Can you see?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
How long has it been there?
It started with a small spot, and just in about 3 days, real small spot, and now it's turned into that. I've been putting lotion on it. What could that be, Rusty?
Yeah, my first thought was trauma of some kind. In other words, you had a bug bite or bumped it into something, or something happened to it. It's you've got a little bleeding under the skin there. No, you don't have any of them anywhere else?
No.
And no other symptoms?
No. I feel great, sounding great, looking great. Man, like the drawing machine says, I can knock down lightning, roll over thunder, step on a grave, and make a dead man wonder. Bo James says, Buddy Fuller had them work on the farm during the day and train at night. So there you go.
There you go.
There's
the explanation. Thank you, Bo.
Yeah, I have a story about that.
Okay.
My first wrestling match that I was involved with was I think I've told you the story. I was the kid in the high school that always had the keys, and so the assistant principal said, you need to let these people in. They're having a wrestling match Friday night. And I said, I'll do that. So I let everybody in. Well, Tommy Rich was on the wrestle there. And so I hung out in the good guys dressing room. Well, Tommy Rich comes out of the shower naked and sits down in a chair. So I've seen the private parts of an NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So that's one. And two, so we were sitting there, and I said, how'd you get into this? And he said, oh, my parents are friends with Jerry Jarrett in Memphis, who I'd never heard his name, who promotes it, and I wanted to do it. And so I went over there, and he made me work on his farm all the time.
Yeah, that's that no good evil Jerry Jarrett for you. Get something out of them, no doubt about it. One quick thing before we conclude this doctor meeting. Should I get my will in order, or do you think it's just one of those things?
You know, my rule of thumb when anybody would come in saying, I got this, and can point to it on their skin, would be if it is new and it kind of looks like trauma, like that does to me. In fact, Thomas Leonard in the our Lemon in the chat says a bite. I think that may be what it is. But my rule of thumb is if it's not resolving, or in other words, it's not going away after 2 weeks, then you go get something, go see somebody officially. And they may want to do a biopsy or other tests.
Okay, we will check that out. We're going to go through some more of these and we'll just quickly do that and then sum it up. 44.90. I like this one very much. Remembering Lance Russell, just a fantastic younger Lance, older Lance, and every time we see Lance Russell, that is just fantastic. Next picture, and one of the mean guys we saw in a scaffold match a few weeks ago on this show on Talking Memphis Wrestling. That's Don Green. Mean
Damn
Don
it.
Green. I'm sorry?
This weekend, Friday, I did not go into the office. I, quote, worked from home. And then Saturday and Sunday, I really didn't do much of anything. And then yesterday was a holiday. I did not shave all for 4 days. And I thought, I might just because I had a beard at one point in time. I don't know if you remember that, Randy, but I
don't.
I had something of a beard. And I was thinking, I might just leave this and shave everything else. But if I had seen that picture, I would have got me a Don Green goat right there, man. That's awesome.
That is absolutely a great picture of Don Green. 44.99. This is Lawler punching the hell out of Bobo Brazil. 45.01, the next picture. And this, of course, is Nick Goulas and Roy Welch. How much did you see Roy Welch, William?
Not much. I remember hearing about it. I saw his name all the time, that you were billing it as Jarrett Welch Promotions for the longest time, even after they split off from Nick. But I didn't really see Roy himself until much later on when I started watching the videos on YouTube.
How about you, Pat?
No, I mean Nick was the front man in Birmingham, and he would come down probably once a month and be on Saturday nights. But I never knew who I probably never knew who Roy Welch was. I probably have not seen a picture of Roy Welch until the last 20 years.
How about you, Michael? Roy Welch.
What year did he die, Randy?
I don't know, but I did read this. The same year of the takeover. He died in 77.
That's what I thought. I met Roy one time in Nick's office on a Friday afternoon, and he was in a wheelchair. And I think he was in a nursing home at the time and had come back to Nashville for a visit with family or kin people or whatever. And he was not very coherent at the time.
75 years old.
I always heard that he was the power and Nick was the mouth. That Roy was the wrestling genius and the power, and Nick was like you said, the front man, the mouth, the person that went on camera and did whatever. But I also know that the boys would always, the story I always heard, in fact, George Goulas told me that, is a wrestler would come in and complain about his payoff or complain about what he was making. And Nick would jump his case and all, and Roy would say, "Don't worry about it. We'll take care of you. Wick, take care of you." And then the guy would walk out the door, and Roy would turn to Nick and say, "Fire that son of a, you know what?" and that was, and I heard that from George Goulas. So I guess he was a tough son of a gun, but I always heard he was the power he was the power and the genius behind the wrestling. And that Nick was the showman, the front man, the P.T. Barnum.
45.03. This is a young looking dude here, and I would
Wow.
make you guess it, but it actually says who it is. So it former AWA world champion Vern Gagne. Without that caption, Michael, could you have told me who that was?
Probably not, but I'll say this. Boy, he was developed. Wasn't he one of the first big amateur wrestling champions to make it big in professional wrestling?
Vern?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
There was many over the years, and I wouldn't say he was the first. He was the very first one that became a TV star on the DeMont network. So that's a interesting picture. So what do you think of old Vern there, Pat?
Well, you hear about Vern, and you hear I've seen a lot of interviews with Greg, and I've also seen interviews with Hulk Hogan and others who kind of started and worked up there for a long time. But apparently, like like oh, who's the guy up in Canada?
Stu Hart.
Yeah, Hart. Like Stu Hart. Apparently, he was not afraid to stretch you if you were up there learning to be a wrestler.
No, not at all. And Thomas asked if there's any good books on Nick Gulas or on Roy Welch. Not that I know of. And Richard Hood says that at one time Vern was the highest paid athlete at one time, and I can believe that
I
because
heard that.
wrestling was certainly hot at one time off that DeMont network. Then we got one more to go, and this is 4504, and this picture is from the 70s. This is the fabulous Jackie Fargo and Jerry Jarrett, 4504, number 4504. Now, somebody tell me this. There's Jackie Fargo on the apron, Jerry Jarrett, long hair with the side headlock. I'll ask Pat first, then William. If y'all mess it up, then Michael St. John. Then if he messes it up, then I'll tell you. Pat, who is in the headlock?
Don't know.
William, who is in the headlock?
I'm going to guess because of the blonde hair, David Schultz.
We're 0 for 2. Michael St. John?
Is that Chick Donovan?
No. Think early 70s. This will tip it off. Jerry Lawler's first regular tag team partner.
Jim White.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. Well, Jim White, honestly, Jim White and Chick Donovan did sort of look like each other.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt. And
does Fargo not look bloated in that picture?
He really does.
He really does. As King of Kingsport says, he thinks he knows. Of course, Jim White was from East Tennessee. Of course, you know, Bo James. You know everything there is to know about everything in East Tennessee, and I'm not a smartass when I'm saying that.
Yeah.
He absolutely does, no doubt about it.
Randy, can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
To get back to Nick and Roy for a minute.
Yes.
Jerry Jarrett, I think in his book, and I think he talked to me about this. Did Roy Welch do the booking, or did Nick book any? Because
Nick didn't ever book.
Okay.
He had bookers. Glenn Rossi at one time, Tom Ernesto at one time, Jerry Jarrett at one time. Buddy Fuller was a good booker, and Roy, I think, probably in the older days did book, but in the modern era, he's too old. Michael.
Well, Jerry's story was he would ride to Memphis with Roy and talk about booking and what he was going to do and why. And at some point, he started saying, Roy started asking him, what do you think about this? What would you do? And at one point, he said, he would say on the way over, what would you do? And then at some point, he just started doing what Jerry said, according to Jerry.
And he said it enough. I believe that story.
Yeah.
I believe that story. Dennis King says, great, I made it. Been looking forward to this. And we are 58 minutes in the show. This next video that we're going to show is 4 minutes, 13 seconds. I wish I could have found the 34-minute video because I love this video. It's 4 minutes, 13 seconds. It's unseen and rare 70s Memphis wrestling video, and we'll talk about it when we're back on Talking Memphis Wrestling as we watch the video now. Of course, this is early 80s, they start with. This is Lawler's return to the Mid-South Coliseum, 11,700 people, as his return from a broken leg at the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis. Bo says at one point from the 20s to early 50s, Roy was booking every town he controlled. Then after that, just certain towns at certain times. So that is Bo James' knowledge added to Talking Memphis Wrestling today. People goes crazy. First time in almost a year. As he popped up through that stage.
And Lawler just continues to maul him with that big right hand.
Lawler and Mongolian Stomper. This is Bearcat Wright.
You're a Lawler fan, a Lawler rooter. Jackie, who took his licks. And now he's
This is Fargo and Chris Cope.
Shoots some good solid lefts and a right. Tags him with a right that puts Colt down on the deck completely. Arguing with Bearcat Wright. But the referee has ruled. Wait a minute. We may have a decision change here. Robert Fuller going after the big man.
I'd like to get your reaction about that bout and about the return match that will be coming up Sunday.
It appears that the leg of Jerry Lawler has been fractured, has been broken.
Yes, the suplex. A very, very dangerous hold.
Was that George Good commentary, Michael?
Yes, it was.
He too has. The two men in the ring now.
Is that Harley?
That's Harley.
That's Harley, yeah. I think a little bit earlier, we also saw crazy Luke Graham as a referee.
The tournament in order to meet you and opportunity to meet the NWA.
We won't have just a minute. You've raved on long enough.
Now Rich is coming back. He's working on Sam Bass. On top of him.
Who's that announcer, Michael?
Kerry Thornton.
Referee Bill Mack, who was hit twice, handing the belt to the Stomper. Here comes promoter Nick Goulas.
Very rarely saw Nick, Michael, in Memphis.
Dundee and Johnson.
True.
Against Hickerson, Hungry, and Lawler. Look at that.
Here, Tojo go.
Notice that he very, very fluidly doesn't move a lot when he's doing that. This is Johnny Randolph in Louisville.
Great boy.
Up there in Zulu refusing to let go of the
The
Mongolian
magnificent
Stomper.
Zulu drew a lot of money, maybe the worst announcer I ever saw.
And the Stomper unable to break the hold, even with the help of four men. Count of two, really didn't quite ever get to two. Lawler tipped Dundee over backwards, and Dundee caught him with a foot right in the midsection. And now Hickerson takes the brunt of Dundee's action. A big elbow to Condrey.
The wrestlers continue, and the Sheik.
Throwing the fire.
The Sheik pulled out that fireball right into the eyes of the referee, Tommy Marlin. I've never seen anything like this.
Hey, you want to bring him in, guy?
We'll start with Michael St. John on 70 stuff.
I'd like to see all 27 minutes of that, Randy. I'll echo what you said. That looks like some pretty good stuff.
Very good. What did you think, Pat?
I think the thing every time I see Archie Goldie, a young Archie Goldie working, I wish I had seen him when he was younger. I only saw him in Atlanta in the late 70s, early 80s when he was older, or mid 80s. And, you know, he was kind of a, you know, big stomper guy and all that, but not, you know, his athleticism had left him. but I've seen some early stuff, and that guy could go.
What did you think about that video, William?
Oh, that was fascinating. I think the clip with Harley was in the Coliseum for a world heavyweight title match in 77. I think it was December of 77. That sure looks like it. I remember that specific one. And Harley and Lawler were just at their best in that match, as I recall. It was a 60-minute time limit draw. And you just knew if they had another 5 seconds, Lawler would have beaten Harley.
Pat, she's more than welcome to come on the show.
No. No.
Why?
No. I have my stuff. She's got a 4,000 member church she runs. I got my stuff. These are my people.
Okay. That will get him in trouble. You'll be sleeping in the guest bedroom tonight.
I got news for you. Mine won't come on camera either. She says she doesn't have the face for TV.
Well, that's not true for sure.
Interesting stuff here. And James Davis says, where did the Stomper come from? He came from Mongolia, didn't he, Michael?
No, he didn't.
No,
he was from Georgia, wasn't he?
Were they lying to me?
They were. It's. Hey, do you believe in the Wizard of Oz or you don't? I had to ask Joshua that over the weekend. You either believe in the Wizard of Oz or you don't.
Was he from Canada originally?
I think he was, but I know he came to our territory, or at least from the time when I worked with him in our territory, he had been working in Georgia.
Yeah, he's been all over. As far as I know, he didn't work for the WWF. I'm just kind of rambling on.
Did you not think though that and this could be a show some night, but did not the Mongolian Stomper have the face of a heel? Period.
Oh, that's an understatement I've ever heard.
Joe LeDuc.
Oh, he was great.
Joe LeDuc, face of the heel, incredible face. Don Green, who we had the picture of earlier, face of a heel.
Oh,
I think certain wrestlers that's what they are. And for them people for promoters to ruin it and turn them baby face. I always hated when the hated heel, the guy that looked like Godzilla was going to kill everybody, would become a baby face. I'm like, what? The only heel I worked with that I think could ever pull it off, heel back to baby face, heel to baby face, is Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
He was one of the few.
A remarkable talent, no doubt about it. We're going to get into the cards of the week, and then we have one more video as we do some good stuff from 98, 99 Power Pro Wrestling. But man, what we're going to do now is the cards of the week, and we'll start with 4489, and this group 5,722 people. 4489 from Memphis on August the 28th, 1979. Do I need to read this, Michael, or can you see enough to read this card starting from the opening ladies match?
I think I got this. Let me see here.
You're doing better than I am, Michael.
Miss Marlene Balboa, is it?
Belks, Belkes.
Belks, okay. Miss Marlene Belks against Miss Sandy Partlow. Tag team battle, the Hippies versus Tommy Gilbert and Oni Wiki Wiki. The Great Fuji against Nick Adams. Wasn't he the guy that had the wrestling bear?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
As you continue to read the card. And
exactly. The live bear in action. Gentleman Ben against Jim Kent, who was the manager of the tag team, of one of the tag teams, the mass tag teams back in the day. And then the NWA World Tag Team Championship match. No time limit. No disqualification. Fargo's mask versus title. Jackie Fargo and Eddie Marlin, tag challengers, mask stake versus Don and Al Green, tag champions with manager Sir Clements. Title at stake. I think in that little ad it says title at stake like 3 times.
Why does why I don't understand the mask is at stake, but it's Jackie Fargo.
Was that after Fargo got his hair cut?
Yes, that's when it would be, because this was in August the 28th, and I think the hair match was August the 5th, 1972. Interesting card, Pat.
Yeah, well, is one of the hippies one of my wrestling heroes, Mike Boyette?
Yes.
I'd have never guessed that.
Chris Cote, Mike Boyette.
The California hippie, Mike Boyette from Mobile, Alabama.
Absolutely. So, talk about the card, Pat, or anything else you might want to say.
Well, I'm curious, who is the Bates and the Bates, Welch, and Goulas promoters?
We've talked about that before. Ask that one more time.
The Bates, Welch, and Goulas.
Burt Bates was a local guy. In Tennessee, you had to have a local promoter.
Guy, okay.
We talked about that before.
Hey, Pat, he was the Joe Denenberg in Memphis.
Okay, got it.
Any other comments, Pat?
Nope.
Rusty?
I remember Burt Bates. I think somehow I knew maybe his son. I'm not sure who it was, but I remember he was the wrestling guy in Memphis.
Michael, your comments on this card, and we'll move on.
Well, it's a very typical early 70s card, without a doubt. And, of course, Don and Al Green against Fargo and Eddie Marlin is going to draw money. People would come to see the wrestling bear just because he was an attraction, bring the kids, see a bear wrestle kind of things. But when you look at this card, it's not loaded with superstar talent, but it's loaded with talent that drew money in this territory. And I think that's the telltale point of this card.
No doubt about it. Very interesting. We'll go ahead and skip to Nashville, Tennessee, August the 29th, 1973 in Nashville. I believe it's a Wednesday night card. It's $44.96 is that next card, and it seems like of everybody, Michael has the best eyesight. And if people would print my notes, you wouldn't have to strain like this. I talk too much anyway, but it's right in front of me, so all else fails, I can do it. So cover this ad from Nashville on a Wednesday night, Michael.
I love that. Tickets are on sale Tuesday and Wednesday in the lobby of the Sam Davis Hotel in Nashville, Tennessee on Commerce Street. And you can watch Championship Wrestling on WSIX Channel 8 back then. Became Channel 2 when they swapped with the educational TV station. They swapped channels because then you had 4, 5, and the originally was 4, 5, and 8. Then it became 2, 4, and 5. Nick Dulis and Roy Welch, promoters in the opening match, a big tag battle. The fabulous Jackie Fargo and Randy Curtis take on the mighty Yankees with manager George the Blimp Harris. The NWA Southern Tag Team Championship match, Tommy Gilbert and Eddie Marlin, the tag champions, take on the Bounty Hunters with manager Jim Kent. And the main event will be a grudge 6-man tag battle. Ron and Terry and Jim Garvin all together to take on Don Green and Joey Rossi, joined by Bearcat Brown. Remember, at the time, Joey Rossi and Bearcat Brown were the team, so Don Green was actually joining them. And I think that, and if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong about this though, Randy, but I believe that Don Green got involved in this match because he was commentating for Nick and got attacked on the set and got involved in this match.
That makes a lot of sense. Real quick, Pat, what do you think about this card from Nashville?
It is interesting how long Ronnie Garvin kept wrestling, because I think that guy wrestled up into the mid and early 90s, and the last time I saw an interview with him, he looked like he could still wrestle.
And still beat you up. Beat any of us up at the same time.
Yeah, hands of stone. I don't remember Randy Curtis.
I don't either.
I couldn't. I
Not
can't. I
me.
can't help you that.
And that's really young for Joey Rossi to be in there, Michael, isn't it?
I think Lynn had the book at this time. I really do. And this was about the time they started breaking George in as a referee. And then George wanted to become a wrestler, and then he became a wrestler. But I remember this. It's funny you bring this card up because I was in college at the time, and this was right before the Fairgrounds Wrestling Arena burned. And they had to move the matches to the Father Ryan gym at Father Ryan High School over on Church Street, which was a block away from where I lived at Vanderbilt. So I was going to the matches every Wednesday night then. But I'm pretty sure that this was after Don Green got attacked on TV and got involved with the match with Joey and Bearcat against Ron and Terry Garvin and Jim Garvin. And the Garvins were, at one time it was amazing how many talent that went on to be major stars came through Nashville and Memphis.
Yeah.
Amazing the number.
It really is. Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. 4488. Then two more to go. This is 4488. This is from August the 28th. This is August the 28th of 1978. And once again, wearing glasses and all, here's Michael St. John.
All right, to open up the match, I'm going to do it in my best Lance Russell. How's that? Opening up the match, we got the Bounty Hunters and Abdul Zadar against Terry Sawyer and King Cobra. And following that, Pork Chop Cash will take on John Louis. And a big 10-man tag team match, Frankie Lane, Mike Boyer, Eddie Sullivan, Ron Bass, and Hans Schroeder will take on Jimmy Kyle. Is that? No, I can't. Steve Kyle. Steve Kyle.
Wrestled in other places than Steve Lawler.
Steve Lawler, that's right. Steve Kyle, Jackie Welch, Wayne Ferris, George Weingroff, and Bearcat Brown. And then we get into the big match of the NWA World Junior Heavyweight title. Nelson Royal, the champion, puts that belt on the line against Tommy Gilbert. In a big lumberjack match, there'll be 10 wrestlers around the ring. If a wrestler goes out of the ring, they'll toss him back in. Superstar Bill Dundee against handsome Jimmy Valiant. And in the main event for the AWA Southern Heavyweight Championship match, on to card, Jerry the King Lawler puts the belt on the line against Joe LeDuc. That'll be 8 o'clock, Mid-South Coliseum, Monday night. It's a big one. Be there.
Tickets 3, 4, and 5, correct?
$3, $4, and $5. The top one says, yeah, 3, 4, and 5.
What's your thoughts on that card, real quick, Michael?
I love that card. Look at it. It's loaded. It's loaded. Yeah. Not a lot of people had seen Nelson Royal in this area, and this was in the early going of Channel 17 in Atlanta, so it just gotten a little exposure. Nelson Royal always reminded me of Danny Hodge. There was a lot of similar. They were great amateurs, and then they'd get in the ring and work amateur, but then work pro. He was a great champion.
Andrew Martin says, hey guys, love the show. Randy, what do you know about Southern Extreme Wrestling? I've never heard of them. I know USWA had some wrestlers there as well as ECW. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question. That card we just saw from Memphis, quick thoughts, Pat.
It's a packed and loaded card for sure. I don't. Who do you think booked that?
Let's see the card again, Adam.
I think it's Jerry Jarrett.
Yes.
I don't. I do the thing. And I'm not criticizing. I mean, I love doing all this. I would have had no interest in that 10-man tag team match at all. I just don't get that.
That's kind of evidence of Jerry Lawler or Randy Hill's booking.
Okay.
Honestly.
Okay. But it's interesting. They've got some guys that can go in there for sure.
Well, again, going back to the previous statement I made, look at the stars that are on that card. I mean, from that day forward, I mean, the only person that was sort of at the top of his peak and might be starting downhill right then was Joe LeDuc.
Yeah. 24 wrestlers on that card.
That's almost evidence of Jerry Lawler booking.
Yeah.
It really
that's what I was thinking.
Was William, any quick thoughts real quick? I want to get the show in on time tonight, but
Yeah,
real quick
I
thought.
always remember Joe LeDuc. You know, he's unforgettable in so many ways. When he was on TV on a Saturday morning and sliced his arm open with the axe is probably his most memorable spot. And that
And
was
he
when he
threw
was
water
feeding the
on the
material.
table at the Mid-South Coliseum and about killing him.
Right.
That's another. But it's an interesting card. Would you have been there in 1978?
You know, I may well have. I don't remember it specifically, but in August, yeah, August of
Yeah.
'78, very much so. Yeah.
As we lose that ad right now, and we're going to return to you're going to start sending me a damn bill, Rusty. You're going to send me a bill. We are going to continue our doctor's appointment here, and I want to show you. I just took this picture that I showed you on the camera. Let me show it again. I took the picture of my hand, and my niece, my lovely niece that Pat and Michael met. So I sent it to her, and she works for a dermatologist. I said, this started small, got big overnight. And then she wrote back. She says, yeah, sadly, as you age, our skin thins and easy to bruise. I think that's all it is. May just put Band-Aid on it so you don't hit it. Band-Aid will remind you it's there. Is that good advice from a
Yeah.
non-doctor?
That's basically the same thing I said. It was some kind of trauma, and you may not have even known what it was when it happened.
Now, he was always introduced, and we're not going to talk about him too much, but a little bit we will. When I ring announce, I love ring announce. And by the way, Michael, you missed a couple of weeks, and we are going to. I'm jumping all over the place, Adam, so just catch up with me. You did not know this unless you looked at the notes, and I don't think any of y'all look at the notes, so you probably don't know this. Effective just a few weeks ago, good old RH, Randy Hills, the owner, the founder, the president of Power Pro Wrestling, and before that, I was opening the roof. I was letting it rain. I was giving them hell hurricane. Jonesboro High School class of 1980. Well, this year, I am the new PA voice. I'm the voice of Jonesboro High School volleyball, and there's a picture of me. I think there's a picture of me and a lot of pretty ladies right there. That's me with my Jonesboro volleyball shirt. That is 3-0 Jonesboro Hurricanes. The Jonesboro Hurricanes. And I love doing that, Michael. I love doing the announcing. I love doing the PA. I love entertaining the people. That saying brings me back to the story as girls go away. Okay, I'm back now. I used to love announcing. I stole this line from all kinds of people, probably Michael St. John, I don't know, but from Huntsville, Alabama, the pride of Alabama, beautiful Bobby Eaton. You're not going to have to go far. How far is the Von Braun Center, Von Braun Hall, from where you're at right now, mileage-wise?
28 miles from where I am right now, but from where I grew up on Walker Street in Huntsville, Alabama, one half block from the National Guard Army on Patton Street on Friday night with Nick Gulas and Roy Welch, professional wrestling. Friday night in Huntsville, Alabama, promoted by Jack Welch. It was the Von Braun Center is 3 blocks from where I grew up.
8/28/1979 is the date. It's Huntsville, Alabama. This is 2 years after the split. This is number 4500, and we'll need glasses again because I might have to help you here because this is a busy ad. This is a very busy ad, and here we go. Just dissect this ad, Michael St. John.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret about this ad. I was there and actually did some of the ring announcing for this. I remember this very, very vividly. And the reason is this ad or this event, my wife was pregnant with my daughter. My son was going on 4 years old, and he was the little towhead blonde-headed kid in the third row that everybody was coming up to, and nobody figured out he was mine until the very end. But anyway, the NWA Tri-State Heavyweight Championship match involving Alabama, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Prince Tonga, the champion, against Dr. David Schultz. He became David Schultz. Prince Tonga was Ming, was he not? Ming in the WWE?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Then there is a NWA Mid-America Heavyweight Championship match. Dennis Condrey versus George Goulas Condrey, the champion. Southwest Heavyweight Championship match. Ken Lucas, the champion, against Pat Smith, the challenger. Was that not Pat Rose?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
I remember this, Pat. Pat, you remember this too, I'm sure. Then the NWA Mid-America Tag Team Championship match. The disqualification rule is waived. There will be 2 referees, the Great Togo and Tojo Yamamoto. The champions take on Ricky and Robert Gibson, the challengers. And then the main event, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Harley Race, handsome Harley Race. The champion takes on Huntsville's own beautiful Bobby Eaton, the challenger. I guarantee you, and I think this match was, and Randy may have a copy of this match was taped. And this match with Bobby, and that I can remember. It didn't go Broadway, if I recall correctly. It went about 30 minutes, and it was a hellacious fight.
I would have loved to have seen
I
that.
bet.
It was a hellacious wrestling match, and I think at the end, there was some kind of rule, the count out, or a man couldn't answer the bell, or Bobby couldn't answer the bell, or something, or answer the 10 count or whatever. Yeah, but I do not remember it going Broadway. But I do remember it was a no disqualification for the World Heavyweight Championship, which was really unheard of at that time.
Very interesting card. You're not that far from Huntsville. You're in the same state, Pat. Your thoughts? You already said you want to see Bobby and Harley, right?
I would have loved to have seen that, but I tell you what else I'd love to seen. I'd love to have seen Pat Rose and Ken Lucas. I think that would have been a great match.
Absolutely. Pat could go. I'll tell you, if there's anybody that was underrated in his wrestling ability, it was Pat Rose. He could go. Just FYI on that, I know Randy West watches this show and joins us from time to time, almost every week. I would love to know if there is a copy of that floating around somewhere, because, I think you could put that on a pay-per-view in this day and time, and people would pay for it.
Oh, there is absolutely. You can put money on it. I mean, it was money, and I would love to see it. And obviously, Nick Goulas loved Bobby. Every promoter that Bobby ever worked with loved Bobby. Everybody in the wrestling business loved Bobby. The most popular, I think, but you can't find a bad thing about Bobby Eaton. We're going to show one more card, and Adam, it's the last one up there, and I thought it was appropriate for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's number 4511. First of all, it's a Jonesboro, Arkansas card. It is a Labor Day weekend card. Adam, I think it's the very last card that I had posted up there. This is a Labor Day weekend spectacular in the Jonesboro, Arkansas, my hometown. Ring announcer is not on the ad, but the ring announcer was Randy Hills. And here's Michael St. John. Top to bottom, or bottom to top. Let's do it that way, bottom to top.
All right, my man Randy. In the first match, Danny Davis will take on Ricky Morton. After that, Ron Bass against Dallas Montgomery. Not familiar with that name.
Young local guy.
And a big tag team match, Terry Gordy and Michael Hayes, soon to become the Freebirds, will take on the Hulk, soon to become Hulk Hogan, and Steve Regal, who became very big in the WWE as well.
No, that's incorrect.
It's another guy, yeah.
In WCW and WWE was another Steven Regal. This was Wilbur Snyder's son-in-law from Indianapolis.
Okay, this is the guy
that kid, good-looking dude.
He booked a little bit with his dad in Indianapolis, because I've heard Cornette talk about him. Okay, I got you. Sorry about that, folks. Jump the gun. And the main event, a 6-man tag match, as Jerry the King Lawler, Wayne Parris, and Larry Latham, the Blonde Bombers, take on Eddie Marlin, Tommy Gilbert, and Eddie Gilbert. That's a loaded card for Jonesboro. Loaded.
That's amazing. That was in a town as small as Jonesboro.
Randy, what did that draw?
I'm guessing 700 or 800 people. The building, they would soon condemn it to build a bigger building. They would building that would hold around 2,000 people. This, you could get 1,000 people in it jammed uncomfortably. But certainly, it's a good card. 14 matches on the card. Very interesting card.
What year did you say that was again, Randy?
That was in 1979, and Adam has a question. Ken and Buddy Wayne beat up Dallas Montgomery on TV. When Eddie Gilbert first started wrestling, he hadn't turned 18, so he couldn't wrestle in Kentucky. So they sent Dallas Montgomery up there in his place, and they did the angle so they would know who Dallas Montgomery was. I just forgot about that to right now, but a very interesting card as well. Does either one, Michael read the card and talked about the card? How about you, Pat? Jonesboro, Arkansas, the house?
I mean, I would have. I'm not, as you know, I say it every week. I'm not a huge fan of 6-man tags, but I would have loved to have seen that match.
Yeah, and it was Lawler, Ferris, and Latham, which is interesting.
All the cousins, aren't they all cousins? Yeah.
No.
Larry
not
Latham.
Latham.
Not Latham. Okay.
They were the blonde. They were the blonde bombers.
The blonde bombers
with Sergeant Danny Davis.
Yeah, and they drew a lot of money. I think it's interesting. One of the greatest heel tag teams of all time. Let's put that card back up there just a second. You're seeing one of the most successful heel tag team of all time in the future. But Terry Gordy, Michael Hayes, the Fabulous Freebirds against the Hulk, arguably the most successful professional wrestler there's ever been, in the semifinal match against the Blonde Bombers, the future Moondog Spot, Larry Latham, the future Honky Tonk Man, Wayne Ferris, and on his way to being the greatest of all time, Jerry Lawler, against Eddie Marlin, Tommy Gilbert, and Eddie Gilbert. And in this particular ad, just not to make this negative, but Eddie Gilbert, Tommy Gilbert, Eddie Marlin, Larry Latham, Terry Gordy, the Hulk, don't know about Steve Regal, Ron Bass, all have passed away. But very, very interesting card, guys.
Randy, let me ask you something. You saw Michael Hayes wrestle with Terry, and I know they were young, but you know the story was Buddy Roberts was kind of brought on because Michael was not that good in the ring. Do you remember him being just really not that good in the ring?
No, I don't remember that, but I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was born in 61, this was 79, I was young and wasn't officially smart enough to the business at all. If you can be officially smart enough, it just happens, I think. But no, I think the situation was that the reason they didn't get a main event spot was because in an accident, because the Two Below concession stand brawl, the Blonde Bombers got over. So Gordy and Hayes had teamed for Nick Goulas under Tom Ernesto's bookingship and did very good for Nick. They weren't pushed in that spot in Memphis. Terry Gordy, Michael Hayes goes to Louisiana, and Bill Watts. Bill Watts is the one that thought Michael was best talking, not wrestling at all. Bill Watts was the one. This is a 10-minute answer to a quick question. Watts is the one that thought Michael was shits in the ring. I didn't think he's no Terry Gordy, but I didn't think he was a shits, and now he can lose that card.
Did Watts make them the Freebirds?
No, well, they were already the Freebirds, weren't they, Michael?
I don't remember them being called the Freebirds in Memphis. I know they weren't in Nashville when we had them.
I'm pretty
they
sure
were very
they
young.
were in Memphis. there was a Saturday morning TV where they introduced them and they played the song Freebird. So I'm pretty sure, I think that was 79 maybe when they were in Memphis,
Well,
something
right
like that.
around this time is when they're debuted. Next week, we'll try to find that video and show that video. We have one more thing to do, and we're doing good on time, even though this is a 16-minute, 40 seconds. For 3 or 4 weeks in a row, Michael, you missed 2, but you saw 1 week that we were showing stuff from Power Pro Wrestling. Adam did what he called a sneak peek, and this is just highlights, random highlights, not in any particular order, I don't think, but this is 16 minutes and 40 seconds long, a long video that we normally don't do a lot of, but this tells us Power Pro Wrestling invented in April of 1998, went to April of 2001. This is a sneak peek, and this is Power Pro Wrestling, and this is Talking Memphis Wrestling, and this is Randy Hill.
Love that theme music.
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Adam might be able to answer that. I can. Obviously, now people, the DVDs, which are a thing of the past, we don't have that video. Listen to this.
Known worldwide for the beautiful sights of the Mississippi River, for being known as the birthplace of the blues and Beale Street, and for being the home of the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley. For 50 years, Memphis has been the professional wrestling capital of the world.
And now, it's with great pleasure.
Miller Tracks production music.
The very first edition of TV5.
Roosterhead is the track title, Michael. This was the first Power Pro Wrestling show.
Hello, everybody. Dave Brown with Corey Macklin. We are live in the studios of WMC TV5 with Power Pro Wrestling, and it's underway. Oh, right now.
Randy, how did Corey Macklin get involved with Memphis Wrestling?
I wasn't involved at the time he was. Maybe Michael can introduce him. I think Lawler found him some sort of way, right, Michael?
Yeah, it was Jerry had found him, and Corey was a wonderful individual and was willing to learn and listen. That was I can remember him doing some ring announcing when I was doing some of the shows with Dave or with Lance, and really a nice guy. And then would go to the Coliseum and MC the matches and do a good job.
There's Michael Hayes.
And it's been 4 years in the making. And if you ask anybody in the dressing room, they'll remind you, I'm stiff. I'm real stiff. So Friday night, February 12th, Brandon, the Bad Street Boogie's coming to town. And guess what, Randy Hales? You and Jim Cornette? Ain't got a prayer.
Miss Stacy and the fabulous one.
Fab said short here in this one.
Yes. This is 1999.
Throws Lawler right into Stacy, and she goes down. Lawler hard into Stacy.
Was Stacy not the prettiest of all Lawler's ladies?
Yes, she looks good.
Hey! Look out! Jim Cornette! Cornette shows up with that tennis racket. What is this?
Hey, come on.
Looks like everybody's trying to collect $5,000 here today. Master B are here.
Hey, we're going to whoop that boy so bad, when I get through with him, his name going to be Run the King Mabel.
Look out, Bobby.
Oh, look out. Three Bill.
Is that Gypsy Joe throwing those chairs?
No, Baldo, Matt Bloom, the current head trainer of the WWE.
Gotcha.
You're 5'7". What are you? $180. I'm 6'5", 250 pounds of shredded steel and sex appeal.
Take that off. Take that off. Take
Bill.
that off. Show him.
This is John Stasiak, son of Stan the Man Stasiak, former WWF champion. Michael.
And when you go to the gym just like this, idiot, them dumbbells don't punch back.
On his shoulder. Mr. Hales, this is for you, he says.
Ooh.
You can tell Dundee reckless with that chair.
I was going to say, they laid that in.
Dundee and Street with a chair. Looked like he was putting a sleeper. He is. He's putting a sleeper under referee.
That's Buddy Wayne's youngest son, Aubrey.
And he just holds O'Grady over the top of his head, man.
I had sent Lawler to the hospital, and he commandeered the ambulance, and here he comes. As the people's going crazy.
Uh-oh, look out, Steve Bradley. Oh! He touches Big Grimes.
Great move by Bradley.
Nice drop kick. Look at this, Dave, out on the floor. On the concrete floor goes Bulldog.
I'm impressed that Steve Bradley saw Grimes coming and was able to convert it into a drop kick that put Grimes down on the floor with a ladder.
That's got to be hard to take.
Now you talk about hardcore.
No kidding.
This is it right here today on the Power Hour. Action all over the place. Out on the floor they go.
You know, the folks that think that ECW was Extreme Championship Wrestling had no clue what was happening in Memphis prior to ECW getting notoriety.
I was exactly thinking the same thing.
Yep.
Live from the studios of TV5. JR Smooth, the big guy, gets it.
I remember watching ECW a time or two and thinking, we did this all the time in Memphis back in the 70s.
He had that foot up there on the rope.
Well, remember who started ECW.
Rikishi and Kurt Angle.
Just remember
Paul
who,
Dangerously.
and he spent a cup of coffee in Memphis wrestling.
Yep.
Kurt Angle became the Power Flow heavyweight champion and one of the loudest reactions at TV we ever had. This was Kurt Angle's first major professional wrestling title right there in Power Flow Wrestling.
I don't know if that's real or, but he's built.
Brandon Baxter, me and Billy Travis, put in the dumpster. And now I put somebody else in the dumpster. I'm running roughshod over everybody. But it wasn't Brandon Baxter who I thought it was. And there's Brandon Baxter, the goofy son of a gun.
Those of you that don't know Brian Christopher backstage in real life, you know it just as well as I know it, Dave. Nobody likes him. He's an egotistical maniac. And to tell you the truth, quite frankly, Brian Christopher is a... I can't help it, Dave. Brian Christopher, you're a prick.
Oh, come on there, Randy. Come on, man.
That's exactly the truth. That is Brian.
Andy, you shooting there?
Randy. Hey,
A little bit.
what in the world? What has gotten into you, Brian? Give me that. What you call me? What you call me? You what's up to? Huh? That's what he is.
can't believe you try to buy me back. You try to buy back my friendship with a gift, with a soy TV.
Still fabulous after all these years, brother. And then today they show up with Coca 2 against 1. They keep pulling all this same kind of stuff. I tell you what, once they get Randy in that cage tonight, they're fully ambulance up here.
Randy, did you rent the ambulance?
Randy opens the
Yes.
door to them. Oh, hey, help was on the way, but they stopped them there. Got a brawl going on out in the hallway. Derek's thrown into the back of the ambulance, and Colts are slapping the back window saying, drive on. Here comes Waldo and Brandon Baxter, but a little bit too late. And Randy's gone. We can't even pick him up. Yeah, there goes Randy running on down the There's no telling where he's headed. Angle comes back. Oh.
Bulldog range, Kurt Angle.
And look at Bulldog.
Man, that guy's strong.
Yep.
What's Bulldog weigh, Randy? 310, 320?
Yes.
With the win. Nice bout there for Angle, and an impressive win once again on the powwow. Let's go back outside. Something else going on out in the parking lot. What else? Spent half the show out there today, it seems like. We've had the limo, we had the ambulance. What else could we? I don't know. Possibly have. I don't see anything but the. What is that? Is that Michael Hayes? Michael Hayes.
Always thinking small time. Talking about going to put somebody in an ambulance tonight, Jonesboro. We're thinking of something a little bit more by now, if you know what I mean. Because Randy Hales, we got your transportation after the Rage in the Cage tonight. Your transportation is paid for, and I and my boys are going to deliver it personally.
Right now, right here in this ring, there's a television camera on, and there's probably at least 100,000 people that are watching this right now, and I'm sure they would love to see this get settled once and for all, because let's face it, just, you say you guys like us, we like you. Yeah, right. But you guys think you're the best team. We think we're the best team. Why don't we just get in this little ring right here and settle it once and for all? There's plenty of time left. What do you say? Is that what you people want to see? Is that what you want to see? You want to see it settled here on TV? Is that what you want? Hey, look out. Lane and Kern going after Dundee and Lawler, answering the challenge, battling here on the floor. Nothing in the ring or down on the floor, but now all of a sudden Dundee rolls into the ring. Here's Stan Lane following him in there. Here comes the referee day. We've got ourselves a bout again. There goes Baldo. Kearney right behind him.
Now watch this camera shot. Watch closely. The shot of the limo or the hearse. Watch. Look at Bruno.
Love that shot.
Downtown, on his way downtown or somewhere.
Boy, there was no other promotion in history that made better use of their parking lot or their side doors or anywhere else in the studio than Memphis did.
Bill Binder painting Brandon Baxter red, white, and blue is Creighton Armor from TV5. We did an angle to set that up. People going crazy.
This man is bigger. This man is better. This man will be the new king. And here he comes. It was with great pride and honor that I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the new king of wrestling, the Giant King, standing over 7 feet tall. This is the happiest day of my life.
It's a car, convertible car. Is that Lawler? That is Jerry Lawler. That is him. The new
Had Chopper 5 follow Lawler into the vicinity down on Tom Lee Park. We were ahead of our time, Michael.
Absolutely. This was a tremendous event.
I always thought this was a great piece of work.
Lawler.
That guy's big.
Remember, Lawler weighs 236 pounds. He is no small
Jeez.
man.
That guy could work like a stump.
You think Stacy's hurting him, Michael?
No.
Listen to the crowd. Hear the boos? Something
Yep.
simple.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, Randy Hales, but I'll tell you one thing. There's only been 2 kings in Memphis. Elvis Presley's one of them, and you're looking at the other one. You think that's big an deal? You're going to come in and take my place. You got another thing coming. Right up here, Randy
There's
Hales.
one of our producers, George.
Hey, look, I know that Randy Hales sits up here every stinking show. Now, where is he?
This was Jay Brown's nephew, George.
You understand that? Now, I know where he is.
on.
Get him up here. All right. Hey, I'm going.
That's James Estes.
Yeah.
That's my corner right there, Pat.
That's your score.
Randy, I see him in the front.
Plymouth Chrysler, I believe.
Lawler breaking the
Value.
windshield, trying to get through there. Now security trying to get things squared away.
And I'll tell you what it is right now. If you believe Jerry Lawler's a good guy, ask his first wife what a good guy is.
Randy, let's don't do that.
Ask the 2 sons that he didn't give a
Blurring the lines of fantasy and reality.
Ask Bill Dundee. Ask his
Welcome to the world of pro wrestling.
And this is another thing. People always ask me, Dave, they come up on the street and ask about the situation with Stacy. What's the relationship with Lawler and Stacy? Well, let me tell you, Stacy is nothing more than a 2-bit.
Now wait a minute. We're not going to do
Now, the king mad.
that sort of thing on television around here.
He's not going to put up with that.
This anyway. And look out, here comes Lawler right here.
Lawler's gotten loose from security, Dave, and they're headed
Randy's out
to the parking lot again.
Let's go see what's happening. That doesn't look good.
Back in the parking lot.
Thank you, Stuart.
By the way, that's Idlewild Presbyterian Church, I believe, in the background there.
Yeah.
I went to
Who would
several
have
weddings
thought
there.
as a 14-year-old that at the end of a wrestling show, Randy Hills would be running in boxers, pink boxers down Union Avenue, only in Memphis wrestling. Thoughts, Rusty, on that 16-minute video we watched from Power Pro Wrestling and your final take of the day? Then we'll go to Pat, and then Michael, since he came in last, he'll finish last. We'll go with Rusty, and what I need here is reaction to that video and a final take. Same thing with everybody, and here's Rusty Robinson, my personal friend, my doctor that gave me some advice.
I'm retired.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot. What will I do if I get a serious ailment? Can you refer somebody?
I'll refer you if it comes to that.
All right.
I always loved it when they cut to the parking lot or the
Full
side
screen.
door during Saturday morning wrestling, because you knew it was going to be something fun. They were going to destroy a car, or somebody's going to get hit by a car, and the police would be involved. You never knew what was going to happen, but you knew it was going to be something good and fascinating. The question I had for you, Randy, the show that you did down on, I guess that was Tom Lee Park, that they did the
Fourth
large
of July. 4th of July. Yes.
Yeah. Now, was that telecast on local TV?
On Channel 5. It was live in prime time. The only prime time wrestling show ever. And man, if you hadn't ever watched that show, I need to send it to you.
I think you sent it to me before, but I just forgotten how exactly it went. Well, that's amazing that you managed to get local TV for that period of time. But it was a great show.
Final take for the show today. What did you learn? What did you think?
My
Rusty?
final take?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Again, I think the fact that Memphis wrestling always went back way before you, Randy, used the entire studio. They could be anywhere in the building, outside the building, and there was nobody else doing that. like somebody said, ECW, started to do that and everybody thought that was original. It was far from original. Memphis was doing, excuse me, the extreme things for decades before ECW was.
What did you learn today, real quick?
What did I learn today? I'll tell you one I'm not sure of. Michael Hayes and Terry Gordy. I think they were already calling themselves the Freebirds by that time, which was 79, but we'll figure it out.
All right. Pat Trammell, your reaction to that video and your final take for the show today, and we got about 7 minutes left in the show total.
Well, I'll tell you what really, and Randy, you don't get. I don't think our listeners. I mean, Rusty and Michael and I are kind of along for the ride. I mean, you and Adam put this together each and every week, and put it together in just a fascinating way. And particularly tonight, if you look at how the show developed, we started with a scaffold match, which was something, unique to Memphis when it first started, and then ended with Power Pro. And if you see where Memphis wrestling went, and I include Power Pro certainly in that, to where wrestling is now, it's almost like rock and roll started in Memphis on Sun Studios. Today's wrestling started on Union Avenue and in the Mid-South Coliseum with Jerry Lawler, Randy Hales, Jerry Jarrett, Tojo, all that. You would not have wrestling today without Memphis wrestling.
What did you learn today?
I learned that more so than I ever had imagined it before. That's what I learned, that the roots of modern wrestling started in Memphis, Tennessee. And actually, Randy, and I'm not here to polish your apple or anything, but Power Pro took that to the next level to where it is today. And it's no coincidence that Paul Dangerously was here early in his career. Or any of those guys were. The Rock was, any of them, and where they've gone now, and it's because of the Power Pro days was a pre-booking of what we see today.
So now we'll go to Michael St. John, the legendary Hall of Famer, whether it's broadcasting, whether it's wrestling. He is going to tell us what he thought of that last video, and he's also going to give his last take, what he thought and what he learned in this show today. Here for the final time tonight is Michael St. John, but not the final time ever. Here's Michael.
Good Lord willing, that's for sure. I'm going to tell you what I learned first. Is that okay, Randy?
Yes.
I learned you can't get from Sardis High School back to my house in 45 minutes. That's what I learned. So I got to give myself an extra 30 Friday night when I have to go down there to call the football game. The first thing I want to say is, anytime you show the Power Pros, and especially in a collage kind of fashion like that, Power Pro took Memphis wrestling and brought it into the 21st century and built on it. And it was a shame that it was short-lived in regards to Memphis wrestling itself, because I think Power Pro had the foundation of being probably the second or the third biggest wrestling company in America had it had chance to develop and to blossom, because you certainly were on the right path. And when Power Pro was hot, that was the attitude in WWE and the WCW world, where everything was a fight. And of course, ECW was making their own noise with trash cans and lightning and fluorescent light bulbs. But I think Power Pro had that chemistry and had that vibe that could have built. And it's just too bad that it ended as quickly as it did, because I think it'd still be very prominent in this day and time. But I love the show. I think we did several flashbacks. We talked about some things that are and how it relates to today. And I think that's important. So all in all, that's my final take. I do have one thing to add, and I want to thank Adam for bringing it up. When they put up my little name today, it said college football genius, I think is what it said.
Good God. I thought you did that.
But no, I'm having a ball. I tell you, I love this time of year. And the one thing I did learn, probably more so than anything, it is, Randy, I'm going to teach you something right now. I'm going to teach you one word. And that salve that you rub on that bruise, just get you some Neosporin and put it on there. It'll be gone in 24 hours. My mother, I think, had stock in Neosporin because anytime her children or her grandchildren had anything, it could be a spider bite, it could be a scrape, it could be a knife wound. Put
How do you spell
Neosporin
that?
on.
I've never had that. How do you spell that?
Doc, Neos. Go ahead.
P-O-R-I-N.
Okay, start over. Go, Doc.
Neosporin.
Okay, I've never had that in my life.
Trust me, on my mother, God rest her soul, it cures everything. You got cancer, put Neosporin on it. It'll be gone in 24 hours. My mother totally believed in it.
What else, Michael?
That's it. God bless you, buddy. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. This is so much fun. I missed
We'll
you
do
guys.
it again. I would love this show, and I want to give credit where credit is due. That last video we saw was made years after Power Pro Wrestling went alive. Now, I, of course, tried to keep Power Pro Wrestling alive because that was my baby. But I'm not the person that I give the most credit to that's kept Power Pro Wrestling alive. That's Adam Dunn. He did that video. He's done so much. He started promoting Power Pro when the internet first started going on, long before I had a presence, because a big reason that Power Pro Wrestling to this day gets as much props as it does is because of Adam Dunn, our great producer of this show, and I appreciate it very much. Doc, I appreciate it. Send me a bill. Pat, I always send you a bill. It's flip-flops on that. I love you, though. And Michael St. John, tell Joshua the Power Pro Wrestling and Talking Memphis Wrestling Truth is, hey, Big Josh.
Had him all weekend, and I tell you, it was a treat. It was totally a treat. Thank you guys again. Randy, you do a great job. But Pat and Doc, I'm going to echo your sentiments. There is a big, big star in the sky called Adam Dunn. You don't see him a lot on camera here, but he and Randy together, when they are together working on this show, it's pure magic. I mean, Hollywood's got nothing on these guys.
Hey, how about that? That's a good way to end. These guys put us over, Adam. They put us over for Rusty, for Pat, for Michael, for Adam, for Randy. Oh, I'm Randy. Bye-bye, everybody. Talking Memphis Wrestling.